G'day ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing real bloody well. My name's Isaac Butterfield and this is my new piece of merch. It's out next Monday, so do not miss it. Yep, Monday the 1st of August, this hoodie is available also in grey, it's limited edition, and this very gorgeous beanie and some amazing stubby holders. So, don't miss out, alright? Alright, good. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I'd start this video off by going through some videos that never really made the cut. I thought they were fun ideas, but they never really went anywhere. In a new segment that I like to call, This Idea Sucks Isaac, Get Rid of It. The first video I found in my bin was this one called Why My TikTok Sucks, which was a response video I thought I could do about some fucking 16-year-old looking little shit who had a crack at my TikTok videos.
Is his TikToks, right? And they kind of suck.
In reality, I don't need a 10-minute video of me telling people why this little shit absolutely fucking sucks when it's obvious that this little shit absolutely fucking sucks. The video got under 100 views. Fuck him to the moon. Moving on to the next pile of burning shit. Autosexual. I love myself. This was an idea about these people that find themselves attractive, and the only thing that they're attracted to in the world is themselves. The only person they would ever want to have sex with is themselves. So, should I make a video about that? No, I'll leave it for my autobiography. Coming up next is Isaac Butterfield reacts to his best death threats. Thankfully, I've deleted most of them. I don't want to be a weird person and hold on to them. But also, it'll be a good video. So to the psychos out there, get back in touch. I miss you. Last but not least, it was called OnlyFans Underarm Hair Review. And that was all about this OnlyFans model who says the bush is back and she makes £5,000 a month after ditching the razor. Yes, there's a few bush bashers out there that don't mind the hairy pits, but I don't really need to show this lady's nude hairy underarms to, get the point across that it's fucking gross. Ladies, shave your pits or don't talk to me, alright? I'm glad we could get through that. And now that we've recycled all the shit, and there was some shit in there, let's get on to the topic of today's video. And it is an interesting topic indeed. Gender, as we know, is made up. It's not real, all right? I don't have a gender, you don't have a gender, your cock and balls, my cock and balls, your vag, my vag, isn't real. Doesn't exist, all right? Forget about it. It's not real. Cock and balls, not real. Fucking slam them into a fucking car door. They're not real. How Aussie birth certificates could soon have no gender amid proposals to let people switch from a man to a woman every 12 months. It's like changing your name on Facebook. You can only do it every 90 days, all right? You don't want to start being crazy or anything. Let me just say this, just to clarify. If you are a trans man and you are impregnated by a trans woman's sperm into your male womb and you give birth to a baby through your male vagina, I understand why you wouldn't want to have your gender on the birth certificate of your baby as female, because you are the father. It makes sort of sense, and I know it is a very nice thing to do, and that is what this article is about. It's not so much about the babies, although that has been talked about in places like Tasmania, but let's face it, people in Tasmania are basically, Ricky Martin. I understand why if you were born a man but now look like the mother, you don't want that on the birth certificate. I get that. If you live your entire life as a woman and then have to declare yourself as a man, I understand why that would be dysphoric for you. And therefore, yeah, do whatever you want. Who cares? Call yourself whatever gender you want, but why make these giant sweeping changes and these big announcements from the government saying, look how fucking woke we are, instead of creating words like birthing parent 1 and birthing parent 2, rather than making those words up. As a trans person, why don't you just go, okay, this is what sex I was born as. Why do we have to make it different for everybody? Why does a tiny segment of the population have to affect everybody else? Why don't we just go with the fucking one we were born with and that'll be it? No one's ever gonna look at it. Who gives a shit, right? This is what I've also noticed. I don't think that many trans people actually give a shit about this. I think most of them would just go, who cares? Just fucking let me get on with my life. And that is what I find with all of these changes that are made that upset people or annoy people, or people just go, why are we doing that? No one who is trans has ever asked for it. Proposed changes to birth certificates in Queensland could see parents given the option of not declaring a gender on the official document. The terms mother and father would be optional. Okay, whatever. And people will be allowed to change their gender every 12 months, sources say. Why confuse the fuck out of your children, number one. You gotta pick a mother and a father. You've gotta pick one, all right? Whatever, just pick one. Just fucking pick one. A spokesperson said they were making changes to improve recognition for trans and gender diverse people. Once again, don't disagree with that, but there has to be at some point where people on official documentation go, hey, what about the science? Huh? What about the science? What about reality? Sometimes you just have to, be scientific rather than just being nice to people. They also say that people would be able to choose any descriptor for their gender. Well, that's fucking stupid. What are you gonna do? Just fucking scratch a little lottery scratchy and that's what gender you get to be on your baby's birth certificate? Oh, Isaac, congratulations on your they-them baby. Now, what gender would you like to be on their birth certificate that they'll have for life? Okay, I will be Batman. Give the people the choice to choose male, female, or non-binary. That is what I'm suggesting here. Just give them that choice. 3 options. You have to fit into one of those categories. And if you don't fit into one of those categories, and we really need to look at the nuances of what your gender is, get a fucking hobby. Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking whinging and making everyone have to deal with your internal issue. Just pick one. It doesn't matter. The article goes on to say that they can choose any gender that they want, as long as it's not obscene, contained offensive language, symbols, numbers, or was too long or contrary to the public interest. And it is my melancholy duty to inform you all that Cum Daddy's $69 sign is unavailable. Also, what the fuck does contrary to the public interest mean? Please let me know in the comment section what the best gender that's contrary to the public interest is in the comment section. I'm very interested to know. Anyone over the age of 16 would also be able to self-identify as another gender if they had a good faith statement from someone who had known them for at least 12 months. Those aged 12 to 16 may also be able to change their gender identity if they have support from one or both parents, evidence from a child development practitioner, and court may also be required depending on the case. Okay, firstly, if you are having a child and you're 16 years old, don't do that. Wear a fucking condom, all right? For Christ, don't even think about STDs. I know everyone's talking about STDs, you gotta be careful of STDs. Wear a dummy. You don't want a fucking child. You can't even work out what fucking gender you are. Don't worry about raising a child. But I also do worry about children going to, these gender development practitioners. What happens if they're 12 years old and they walk in there and they say, I feel like a woman, but I was born a man? Do they then give them medication to stop puberty happening? Okay, what does that mean for things happening in later life? Is that dangerous? From what I've read, apparently it is. Apparently it's not that great. It does help them in the short term. Longer down the line, things may start to go wrong because they did the nice thing at that point. And I just feel that changing your biological structure chemically at that young age is not a great move. Queensland and New South Wales are the only states requiring a person to have undergone surgery in order to officially change their gender. And I also think that is a bad thing, because why would you want to force someone to go and have a massive surgery because they feel like they're the other gender? If they feel like that, then let them feel like that. Why do they have to cut something off or change something? Just let them feel like that. You shouldn't have to go and do that just so on some paperwork you're fucking a different gender. Like, what the fuck is that? And this has been a tough week for the trans folk and the non-binary folk. They've been banned from another sport. First it started with swimming, then it was, what was it? It was rugby league, and now it is triathlons. If you were born a man and now transitioned into a woman, you can no longer compete against women. You have to compete in an open category. This is from Pink News, by the way. It has a high bias towards the LGBTQ, but it's always fun to read from different media providers. British triathlon banned trans athletes from women's competitions and announces open category. I really do enjoy Pink News, they're quite fun. Under a new policy released Wednesday the 6th of July, trans athletes over the age of 12 will have to compete in an open category, including all male transgender and those non-binary athletes who were male sex at birth. And a second female category will only be eligible for those who are the female sex at birth. Fucking, I need a coffee to wrap my head around what I just fucking said. The policy that'll go into effect on the 1st of January will apply to any race that is timed, has rankings, or has prizes. Excellent, science prevails and that is fair. If you were born a man and now identify as a woman and live your life as a woman, you will always have an undeniable edge over natural born women. I'm sorry, but you will. I don't really need to explain it, but here it is. Here's why, okay? Your bone structure is completely different. Your hips are different, so you can run faster, you can move quicker. Triathlons, that's pretty fucking important. Your bones are thicker, so you're not having as many injuries. Your ligaments, your tendons are also thicker as well. You have more fast twitch muscle fiber. Your head is bigger if you were born a man. Your head! Yes, I understand it affects a minority of people. But for the majority, this is fair and that's how we have to live. Let me wrap this entire video up with this. The overarching theme of this video is fairness, right? And fairness to the majority. The videos that I spoke about at the start, they were shit ideas for videos, that's why I never did them. But the majority of the videos I do are fantastic. For the birth certificates, we don't need to remove all the sex from birth certificates because the majority of people just identify as the sex that they were born. For triathlons, for the majority of people, it is fair, particularly for women, to only have biological women competing against them. In 2016, there was a census in Australia. For some reason, the question wasn't asked in the most recent census. There were 1,200 transgender or non-binary persons in Australia at that point. And whilst they are all valid and human beings, and I'm sure the number is much higher now, particularly with it being popular. I know I just said that, oh my God. But the majority of people aren't that way. They are the regular way, okay? And I know that sounds very offensive, but when a majority of people do things a certain way, that tends to be the normal way of doing things. I think we would agree. Like driving on the left-hand side of the road here in Australia or the right-hand side in America. That is done by the majority, and if one person does it the other way, we shouldn't have to change just to suit them, right? It's nice, it is nice to do it, but when these things don't actually matter, like birth certificates, and when they actually affect other people, like races, that is not an appropriate way to make people feel better about themselves. Some people disagree. Pro-LGBTQIA+ group Athlete Ally denounced the policy as deeply discriminatory, hateful, and unscientific. Yeah, whatever you reckon, mate. So I guess the question is gender on birth certificates important? Probably. Does having mother or father on official documents have any effect on anyone? I guess so. Like, if you went back down the family tree in 150 years' time, to my birth certificate, and on my birth certificate it says they, them, and ze, zer instead of mother and father. That's gonna fuck up your family tree. Well, somebody think about people's family trees. As I said before, this is a massive overreaction from people who are trying to look like they are doing amazing things all the time, okay? They don't actually care about transgender and non-binary people. They are just doing it to look like they are amazing. And for transgender and non-binary people, most people don't give a fuck about this shit. They just want to live regular lives. Ladies and gentlemen, this merch drop is coming out on the 1st of August, so do not fucking miss it. And yeah, ladies and gents, thanks for watching. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East, mid-extinct, toodle, blah, 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 blah.